The concept of disclosure is not complicated. It's a declaration that UFOs are real and they've been here for a millennia. But the more you dive into the topic and contemplate the ramifications, the more challenging it gets. There may be valid reasons disclosure has not happened. Let's explore. Hi everyone and welcome to Project Bluebook, where we explore all things unidentified. I am Thor and thanks for tuning in. It's a fascinating topic. Countless folks in ufology have devoted their lives to its pursuit. The conversation around disclosure of alien presence on Earth often sounds borderline insane because at the core, the topic pushes the limits of our understanding of reality while relying on fragments of facts, glimpses of the reality behind the veil, uncovered by accidental discovery, bearing a witness, or being selected. Meanwhile, the continued discovery of new footage, mounting eyewitness accounts, and whistleblowers revealing new information about legendary events of the past all make non-disclosure and denial increasingly absurd. Yes, we live in a world where the presence of unexplained phenomena is undeniable, yet it keeps being denied. So why hasn't there been a full disclosure? What's going on? Let's break it down. Many say it's because of the economic interests of the military-industrial complex, famously coined by President Eisenhower. It suggests a limited group controlling the information, wanting to harvest the knowledge gleaned from events for corporate and personal gain. Think of the day after Roswell, Philip Corso's account of the dissemination and seeding of alien technology into our industries for military and civil application purposes. There's the matter of military superiority to keep the world free and at peace. There's also a viewpoint that since they don't seem to represent an immediate threat, there is no need to react, no need to disclose. This has been the thread from Robertson to Condon committees, through Sign, Grudge, Bluebook, ATIP, and the UAP task force. Others say disclosure will never happen because humanity is under control, possibly by a human cabal directed by or in cahoots with an infiltrating, shape-shifting reptilian race. Think of the lectures of the late Honorary Defense Minister of Canada, Mr. Paul Hellyer, or on the far conspiratorial spectrum, the paranoid preachings of David Icke. I propose differently, that the forces pushing against disclosure are far more complex, and there are likely to be valid and reasonable reasons for it. Let me explain. Multiple messaging, ranging from crop circles to abductions, referencing Johnny Mack and Bud Hopkins here, delivered also through mental downloads, such as at Rendlesham Forest or to Filiberto Cardenas. Through it all, humans receive a repeated message from the Ebens that we're not ready. Whitley Strieber has covered this extensively in his podcast on Dreamland, that a new world awaits us if we can take it. What is that world that awaits us? What is it that we need to take? The statement suggests we may or may not be ready to handle its truth, suggesting information that possibly changes everything about what we think we know about ourselves and the world, and that it requires collective transformation and acceptance of this information. The new world that awaits us, based on the glimpses of other realities we have been able to glean through UFO sightings, alien encounters, eyewitness accounts, whistleblower testimony, and analytical study of all of it, includes the prospect of multiple alien races being active on Earth, up to 9, some say, or more. One may be a permanent resident of Earth, even for longer than Homo sapiens sapiens has existed. Earth may be the home planet for a more advanced, intelligent race than ourselves. That's unsettling. According to Australian UFO researcher Ross Coulthart, 2 U.S. intelligence sources have confirmed to him an intelligent humanoid race cohabits this planet with us, and we are only now becoming aware of their presence through advanced detection technology. Then there is the unambiguous archaeological physical evidence. It's everywhere, including in ruins like Pumapunku. Linda Moulton Howe has interviewed servicemen that have disclosed seeing intelligent megaconstructs a mile under the ice sheet of Antarctica, demonstrating heat and light technologies and building methods and materials we don't understand and are so massive, humans within their walls are dwarfed and overwhelmed. And in order to build that deep under the ice, they must either be over 15 million years old or applied technologies for construct of megastructure under the ice that far exceeds our knowledge. U.S. military leaders with strong religious convictions have historically opposed, rejected, and silenced any information suggesting the alien presence on Earth because it upsets their world as governed by God. Even the Vatican has rejected this viewpoint, or so said Monsignor Balducci. But it has been consistent from Hoyt Vandenberg and the Robertson Committee that hastily returned their results on January 18, 1953, 2 days before the end of the Truman administration and the beginning of Eisenhower's presidency. And whistleblowers within the military have stated they have seen evidence to alien presence influencing our religious history and possibly shaped our religions through time, even orchestrated the narratives of religious figures and pivotal events of their lives, including that of Jesus from Nazareth, Father Abraham, and the Prophet Muhammad, and all the miracles that surround them. Magic is just science we don't yet understand, said Arthur C. Clarke. Technology, more advanced to us, therefore becomes indistinguishable from magic. The history of humanity is provably much more complex than we are currently taught by accepted historical narratives. Mesopotamia to Egypt to Greece to Rome to the Middle Ages to modern pinnacle of human achievement. Ignore other civilizations around the world while we're at it. Even as the evidence is right before our eyes, it tends to be rejected. It's because academia is invested in currently accepted realities. These ideas aren't mine. Just ask Graham Hancock and Haim Eshed. Because the leaders of history, geology, archaeology, and anthropology, as disciplines go, are personally wedded to currently accepted theories. Without it, they would look like fools. Leading the academia means leading the prevailing theory and rejecting any threats to it. History has become a parallel absurdity of denial. Along with non-disclosure of alien presence on Earth, we live in a world upheld by lies and fairy tales. What if our evolution was guided, influenced, accelerated by gifts of knowledge orchestrated by sky gods? Well, we would have seen them as gods because of their superior abilities, as they ascended from heaven, as Eric von Däniken has stated. And civilizations like that of Sumer may have arrived here from elsewhere in the galaxy and possibly seeded humanity as slaves, digging for gold in Ethiopia, Sakarya Sitchin. And it wasn't just influencing our knowledge and guide our direction. Our DNA most likely has been nudged countless times and continually to this day. Ask any abductee. There may be reasons we're deemed not ready, that we wouldn't be able to take it. Why? Let's speculate, based on what we know. First, who would they talk to? The UN Security Council? We don't have a cohesive representation for our entire civilization. We're disparate. We don't get along. We're internally disagreeable to a point of warring with one another. Political factions and nation pacts prevail. We are incredibly incohesive. We don't even see ourselves as a uniform people. We focus on racial differences instead of what unifies us as a species. All of this represents a problem when it comes to disclosure and representation. We would splinter into countless factions at odds with one another. Next, who would we talk to? Do they have a unified representation, purpose, and objective? With 9 or more species operating on Earth, they are said to range from malignant to benign, indifferent to supportive and caring, not uniform either at all. If true, who do they represent? Those we talk to? Many have suggested they are fighting over influence over us, over Earth's ecosystem. There are wars in the heavens above Earth. Epic and frightening, if true. But perhaps the problem is mostly with ourselves and our nature. Can we control our primal fear to a point of not disrupting societal order? Will fear and emotional, irrational reaction descend us into chaos upon first disclosure? Will we go to work or school the day after? Will society and the rule of law uphold? Disaster studies have shown it takes society 30 minutes to break down upon a major catastrophe. Lawlessness and self-preservation kicks in to override laws and any rule of human engagement. Minute 31, and everyone becomes a warrior of survival. Upon disclosure, will this primal fear kick in? Perhaps the Brookings Institute report of the late 1950s on the subject of ramifications of human contact with extraterrestrial life is right on the money, that a Columbian exchange type reaction would result in the destruction of our civilization, just like it did in the Americas upon the arrival of the Europeans. Then there are physiological concerns. Our intellectual level. Is it adequate enough for disclosure, for contact, or is there a gap? Are we intellectually compatible with whomever we would be speaking to? Abductees and contactees have repeatedly described the relationship as unequal. I couldn't look into their eyes, and I felt like a gorilla at the zoo, said Charles J. Hall. And then there is religion. How will we accept the information that may come with disclosure? It may shatter what we think we know about Earth history, our own origins, our evolution, and God. Can we take it? They may have meddled with our DNA. We may have been created for a very humbling purpose, and religion may be a construct for our benefit by them. Within our institutions, including the military, this is repeatedly cited as one of the main reasons for adherence to non-disclosure by human recipients of EBEN information. It's a Pandora's box that may at this moment in time represent an existential threat to human civilization. And consider additionally that disclosure and contact do not necessarily mean the same thing. Environmental concerns are repeatedly mentioned in human-alien contact experiences, sometimes messaged through children, like it was in Zimbabwe and Westall, Australia. Nuclear energy concerns seem ever present as well. Consider what we've learned from Robert Salas at Malmstrom, from nuclear testing at White Sands, just a stone throw from Roswell, the home of the only nuclear squadron in the U.S. Armed Forces back in 1947. Let's also remember modern nuclear ICBM launch tests from Vandenberg Air Force Base, where UAP interference has been recorded. They've made it abundantly clear they don't like our environmental stewardship or our meddling with nuclear technology. I speculate we're occupying an era of incremental nudging, a painfully slow opening of minds that may take a lifetime, centuries, or millennia to accomplish, whereas instant disclosure might destroy us, and that it is the fear argument driving the agenda that results in the increased absurdity that is non-disclosure. Do we have a right to know? You bet we do, no matter the consequences. It is a risk we must be willing to take, because I believe we're in a race against time to evolve to a point of appropriately managing our earthly affairs, internally and environmentally before a catastrophic event that would only be preventable by another, perhaps for us, equally catastrophic event, an intervention. And something tells me we don't want that. You can watch and listen to this and other podcasts on Project Bluebook, where we explore all things unidentified. Each day, let's practice compassion and kindness. And please subscribe. We'll take a couple of weeks off during the holidays. Enjoy peace and positivity. I am Thor, and thanks for tuning in. See you next year.